Everything you've been told about death is wrong. It's not an ending, not a void, not a mystery left to faith or speculation. For over 1,000 years, hidden within a forbidden manuscript, lies a roadmap, one that details exactly what happens in the first 49 days after death. This ancient text, the Tibetan Book of the Dead, was once reserved only for the most enlightened minds, for those who could grasp its truth without fear. It reveals that the moment of death is not the final breath, it's the beginning of a test that determines whether you break free from the cycle of life and death or fall back into reincarnation, blind and unprepared. Most people fail, not because they are weak, but because they are unaware. They don't recognize what's happening. They don't see the illusions. They don't realize that everything they feel, see, and hear after death is a projection of their own mind. And by the time they do, it's too late. If this manuscript is true, then the first moments after death are more important than the entire life you've just lived. And it all begins with one crucial moment, the moment you leave your body behind. The moment you die, reality doesn't stop. You don't simply disappear. Instead, something else takes over, something ancient texts have described for over 1,000 years. You will feel weightless, detached, as if waking from a dream. There will be no more heartbeat, no more breath, yet you will still be aware. You will know that something has changed, but your mind will struggle to accept it. If you've ever had an out-of-body experience, this moment will feel eerily familiar, except this time, there's no coming back. And then it happens. A blinding, radiant light. So powerful, so overwhelming, that your very existence seems to dissolve into it. This is what the Tibetan Book of the Dead calls the clear light of reality. If you recognize it, if you surrender to it completely, you will merge with it. You will transcend the cycle of birth and death, achieving instant enlightenment, escaping reincarnation forever. This is the ultimate moment of liberation, and it happens the instant you die. But almost no one recognizes it. Why? Because we are conditioned to fear the unknown. The soul panics, clings to its memories, its identity, its unfinished desires. Instead of embracing the light, it recoils. And the moment fear takes over, the illusions begin. You will start to hear sounds, whispers, echoes of voices that feel familiar but distorted, as if calling from behind a veil. The world around you will shift, and instead of light, you will begin to see forms, patterns, shadows, glimpses of what seemed to be people or places you once knew. But none of it is real, not yet. The mind is grasping, searching for meaning, and in doing so, it begins to create the very reality that will define the rest of your journey. This is where most souls lose their way. Instead of recognizing death as an opportunity for liberation, they fall into confusion. They seek comfort in familiarity, and the mind obliges, projecting the world they once knew, recreating familiar sights, faces, and voices. Some even see religious figures they worshipped in life, not realizing that these too are only manifestations of their own subconscious beliefs. If they knew the truth, that none of it is real, that they are being tested, they could let go. But instead, they follow these visions deeper into the bardo, the intermediate state between death and rebirth. The first few moments after death are the most important. The Tibetan Book of the Dead teaches that awareness is the key, that those who have prepared for this moment can pass through the illusions and break free. But for the unprepared, for those still clinging to their past lives, what comes next is unavoidable. They will move through the 49-day journey, experiencing visions that will either guide them toward enlightenment or trap them in yet another cycle of rebirth. The next phase of the journey is about to begin. But before we go deeper into the forbidden knowledge of the